Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Top Tarot Miners. My name is Sadhana, and it's my pleasure to guide you through this series of 56 cards. And the King of Swords is quite a remarkable court card, and I have a selection of cards from which I will choose a top 5, which has been part of my personal exercise. So many months ago, I went through my entire tarot library and I began to make lists of favorite majors and minor cards. And so what I've been doing when I go back to prepare for these videos is go through these lists I made months ago, and sometimes there's other decks that come to mind. For some cards, I've had a lot of examples on the table, and others only 5. So this will be a bit of a challenge to pare down to 5 cards, but I'll do my best. So this is the Philosopher, this is the Sage, the Scholar, the Wise One, and as with all court cards, the gender that appears on the card may not necessarily reflect the energy that is present in your mind, situation, during a reading. Any court card may present as any gender, any age, and it's a matter of building vocabulary, references, experiences for all 16 of them. And I hope through this series that I've given you a wide range of representatives for each of the courts. And so this is the 12th of 16 court cards so far that have been presented. And you can see Einstein in the center of the collage and the Voyager Tarot. This one is the knower, and there's this sense of clarity. That moment when everything becomes clear and you just know. All of the noise drops away. And it's interesting because when I began this series, one of you commented about you wanted to hear more about noise and sound in terms of this suit. And this is something that is very apparent when you study the minor arcana and the building of energy in the suit of swords. And whether the deck creator has swords on the card or bells or feathers, feathers are hard to imagine noisy. It does become almost painful by the time you get to the 8, 9, and 10 of swords. And the reflection on noise is really interesting, and what noise is and what noise represents. And the journey of swords is one of finding the space between the sounds, the space between the noise, learning to still the mind. And the master, the King of Swords, has found this, found the clarity, found the peace, and has had these moments of crystal clear knowing, epiphany, aha moments. And I'm going to read from a few of the books from a few of the decks that I'm sharing on the table today. Should we start with this one? This is Dust to Onyx. And I haven't shared a lot of cards from this deck, but if you haven't heard me say it, I do want to repeat that the court cards in Dust to Onyx are incredible. They're very well written about in the guidebook, and they're done with a deep insight into how this energy may manifest in your being, in your soul. Papa Blade teaches us to ride the clouds of our mind and intuition. He teaches us to not dwell too long over analyzing and creating confusion. It is fine to listen to both sides of an argument, but our actions should be fueled by objectivity. Work towards truth, justice, and clarity without being inflexible, since the winds of life can change direction at any moment. Put knowledge into practice to manifest workable solutions. Be strong and tactical leader. Be a strong and tactical leader. Avoid self-absorbed will. Check your convictions and commitments and cultivate the compassion to assert your wise counsel without cutting down others. Papa Blade's face is a combination of Neil deGrasse Tyson's features and George Washington Carver's eyes. The creator, so Courtney Alexander, talks about their choices for the eyes behind the collage as well as the face. And there's something really powerful. I should have included Mama Blade. This is Mama Blade in the last episode as well, too. There's a haunting energy to the quartz in this deck. It's like the energy behind the mask or the face takes on a like somebody in spirit. There's a lot of wisdom in these cards, and I find that the quartz are the easiest to interpret or powerful to read in dust to onyx. That incredible clarity that I spoke of, sometimes you will see in the majesty of the landscape of the King of Swords. Hello, Arya. If I didn't say hello, welcome. And this is the line escape. Is that right? Sorry. Yes. The Evolution Gold Edition, Linescape Tarot. And I love this scene above the clouds. There is clarity above the clouds. And I have, years ago, I've worked with Osho Zen Tarot for many years. It was a deck that I just refused to put down until I think it was 3 years solid that I worked with that deck. And in the suit of air in that deck is clouds. And there's very harsh negative perception of the court cards in this suit, in that deck. And I needed to come to terms with that. And there's something here in the linescape about being above the clouds. The King of Swords has risen above and now has this beautiful perspective, wide-angled lens. And that's very hard to attain. And yes, King of Swords can be very narrow in focus in a shadowy way. But a fully risen, awakened King of Swords sees the whole picture. And I think that's also what we see in the Sage of Crystals in the Voyager Tarot. This one is from the Marielle. It's been a favorite for many years. He is reason. who rises above the nature of sun and moon in him to develop his own soul with the God-given gifts, with his God-given, pardon the pronouns, gifts and skills. As a human, the greatest gift he has is the word. Words and swords are nearly identical words. Master the mind, control your thoughts, hold the image and thought you want to manifest. There's something with this particular King of Swords, as well as the King of Swords in the Tarot of the She. And it's this combination with the dragon that brings in almost a primordial energy. And the connection or the embracing of this animal spirit with the wisdom and clarity of sight and vision. It's almost an untouchable energy, and it's awe-inspiring. Both of these cards just, I feel almost speechless in their power. And I love how the creators have married this energy of fire and air and brought it to this this level. It's really extraordinary. These two will be in the top 5, undoubtedly. I wanted to share with you this one. This is the Guardian Tarot. And this card reminds me a little bit of the Queen of Swords in the Marielle Tarot. And here the Guardian King of Air, what's it called in this deck? King of Swords, is able to communicate with the birds and send their message out. The birds respond to this king devotedly. And the description in the book is a little, could be read in a bit of a negative way, like the king has power over the animals. But in a way, it's like the King of Swords is the air that the birds fly in, and the King of Swords is the bird and embodies the energy of the beauty and grace of the bird. The full moon energy is there, and that just, to me, brings it all together in that, I mean, this could be more of a Queen of Swords. Now I look at this because of the full moon there, and I'm just drawing that connection with the Queen of Swords in the Marielle. Let me just show you in case you don't have the deck. I don't have the card out, but I can quickly find it here. So there is a reference to the okay, the myth. So we're talking about Odin. Hugin and Muin were the eyes of Odin, his companions, and each day at dawn he sent them out to fly over Midgard, and at dinner time they returned with all the news and the news of their world. Odin always worried that one day they would not come back, and they always did. So in the Marielle Tarot, we see the two birds who are the eyes and the receivers of messages for the Queen of Swords. And I think there's a bit of this quality as well too in the King of Swords, this knowing and connection with I mean, I feel it very much in a card like this. And the spirit and the connection with spirit feels more in the environment of the Queen of Swords. But there is this power of clear knowing that is within the realm of the sage or the King of Swords. This simply breathtaking card from the Crystal Tarot marries a lot of these qualities together. And again, we have that blending, like in the Guardian Tarot, of lunar energy, watery energy, with that deep knowing and sight. And the overlap of water and our cups and swords, and the switching of these associations in various decks warrants a deeper study, rather than, if you're new to this, just being confused by it. It can be seen in the way that swords are created and forged in fire and cooled in water. And the more I study tarot, the more open I am to the overlapping qualities and lessons of the elements, and not putting all of the elements into pretty little boxes, because we have a lot to learn about the interaction of elements. And the more you learn about the tarot, I think, at least for me, I have been more able to flow with the energy, the overlapping energy of various of the elements. And I mean, just this art is just, it's extraordinary. And I will come back and do, like I said, I will do a series on decks that fit into this this realm of water, air in the suit of swords, as well as the Euclidean geometry. This card is from the lovely Om Tarot, and I don't think that Darshani even says it's a Thoth-inspired deck, but this is the king, if we're talking about it in Rider-Waite-Smith terms, of swords. And you can see the mind is at the top of the pyramid here. Welcome, Perry. Welcome to you. I'm just going to highlight this comment here. Wisdom contains everything that we have absorbed and have experienced in our cellular system and our physical body. Embodiment, all that exists in a knowledge, becoming wisdom. And this is, I think it's really important to sit with and contemplate the fact that wisdom and knowledge lives in every cell of the body. The body is intelligent. We have intelligence at a cellular level, and it's not just a mind thing. And that even that word mind in English that we tend to associate with brain is in other language synonymous with heart. Other languages synonymous with heart. So I love this idea of cellular intelligence. And in the lovely Om Tarot, we have an overlapping of what and how wisdom is reflected at every level. It's quite an extraordinary card. Also, the pine cone, alluding to the energy of the pineal gland and the connection to an inner knowing there. in the Queen of Swords episode, I shared this card already, and there's something here, and you see the chessboard as well too, and the crystal tarot. And I know chess is often a symbol that is used in the sword court cards, and it's more than strategy. If you know anything about chess, I feel like it's kind of where I started with my thoughts today, and that there's these moments of clarity where you see everything all at the same time, and the pieces fall into place. Did you see that chess movie with the young woman? I forget what it was called. She was an orphan, and she learned chess from the custodian, the janitor at the school, and she played in tournaments all over the world. And when she was, I mean, it's kind of a sad story, but when she was in sort of altered space, she would see the chessboard on the ceiling and play out the whole game in her mind. And when I think about the level of intelligence where people can see multiple things at the same time and multiple perspectives, and that it all just sort of falls into place, it's really, really quite something. There's not a lot of people that function at that level of mind. I have one other card on the table hiding over on the right corner. I don't think I've shared any cards from this deck in this series. And this is the King of Winter from the Tarot of Japanese Poetry. Here, I'm going to show you the borderless version of this card and read you the poem that accompanies this card. Come of age. I ought to put on an official hat. But there is no yet the wisdom that would justify me bearing the imperial emblems. I am from early morning until late at night in thought about how to overcome the insolence of my soul. And if my predecessors will not mentor me, who then will help me rule? And since I was not zealous in the mastering the three skills, I will express my feelings in short verses. There were several Japanese emperors that were renowned for their poetry and the wisdom and art of language and word and understanding of poetry. This is quite a, if you don't know this deck, it's a really beautiful deck that I haven't, it's not one that I've had out on my table and gone deep into. I have a deep affinity, I want to say karmic connection to the Japanese culture. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, this is there's different styles of leading and ruling through different perceptions. And the cleverness and art of the poetry of Japanese emperors, such as this one was Emperor Monmu, 681 to 707, is another sort of powerful reflection of what the King of Swords represents. And I looked up what the 3 skills are that are referred to in this poem. The 3 skills are horsemanship, archery, and swordmanship. And so this particular emperor didn't excel in horsemanship, archery, and swordmanship, and so picked up the pen and excelled in another way to communicate and guide and lead his people. Yeah, so I mean, how do you pick, right? Top 5 from these powerful cards. Yeah, thank you, Perry. Beautiful comments here tonight. All right, so I will attempt to do that. All right, let's. I don't know if well, I guess we do get a sense of air because the Dreamer King is riding in the air. I have so much respect for the quartz in the dust onyx. I'm going to put that on the table tonight. So, for tonight, top 5 King of Swords cards are left to right. Tarot of Japanese Poetry, Crystal, Tarot of the She, Mary L, and Dust to Onyx. Yeah. All right, so I will begin the final suit shortly. Not today. But if you are subscribed to my channel, you can always check in. I believe I have it posted for Thursday or Friday, and you will get a notification when I'm ready to go with this. But this whole series is linked, and this is the conclusion of 3 suits so far. So if there's any cards that you are struggling with, you can go back and listen to my thoughts. Thank you so much for your contributions, and those of you that are watching later, I do really appreciate your comments. Much love. Blessings to you all. Namaste.